Morning, everybody. Warm welcome to each one of you to the CEO series day two. So, before we begin with today's session, I would like to introduce you all to the eminent speaker of the day, Mr. Alok Kedia. Alok sir is a chartered accountant with 25 years of experience in top or senior middle management positions in reputed MNCs and private banks in India, and he is currently handling asset book of 25,000 crores. Currently, he's working as an executive vice president and group business head with IndusInd Bank, handling business banking SME, corporate and SME agri education and logistics infra financing, commodity finance, supply chain finance verticals, and collaboration. He has previously worked with Yes Bank, Standard Chartered Bank, ICICI Bank, to name a few. He has a successful track record of maintaining large assets portfolio with minimal NPAs during the entire career by way of strict portfolio monitoring and account management. He has demonstrated a capability in developing and implementing business models, leading to better risk management and higher business volumes. With this, I would request Alok sir to please take the session ahead. Alok sir, on behalf of VSB, I would like to welcome you once again to today's session, and I request you to share your valuable inputs with all the students present today. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, Vidya Lankar. Thank you, Alpha. Thank you, Gaurav bhai, for inviting me to share my thoughts and experiences with your students. So, good morning to all the students as well.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Yeah. So the topic basically I wanted to touch upon is how to make a meaningful career. Okay, do's and don'ts kind of thing. See, what I'm going to share with you all is more nothing technical about what I'm going to share with you. Okay, this is all about behavioral and all about practical aspects when you let's say get down to let's say after you become MBAs, after you get down to working, whether in a company or whether you are doing your own let's say business. Okay, first and foremost is uh, we have to be patient. Okay, you guys have to be patient. I mean, normally what happens is, I mean, and especially see, I am from a different generation. Okay, you guys are from a completely new generation, and what I have seen, so like I see a lot of we hire a lot of freshers, MBAs and CAs every year, and I see them and I observe them actually. So the first thing actually which strikes me, which they shouldn't be doing uh, all of them are mostly, I mean, very impatient. Okay, they just want to actually uh, uh, be very fast, rise like anything. I mean, rise very fast. Okay, they want to become CEOs, or let's say they want to become let's say leaders in 1 year, 2 years. Very. I mean, the idea is to share the thing is they want to become they want to achieve. I mean, very fast. Okay. See, as you all know, I mean, Rome was not built in a day. Okay, so you have to be patient. See, I know. See, whatever I'm going to talk today, it will let's say most of these things will come to your this thing help when you join the work. Okay, but at the same time, it's good to actually have a perspective about these behavioral and practical aspects right from beginning itself, right from, let's say, when you are entering your final phase of your studies. Okay, of your education. Okay, so what happens is, I mean, see, things take their own time to settle down, to fructify. Okay, you have to put that kind of effort, you have to put that kind of sweat into everything that you do. Okay, then only you will get the results. I mean, you can't get the results, I mean, just by, let's say, every year you want promotion, or every 2 3 years you want to, let's say, rise up the ladder in the corporate this thing. So that doesn't happen. Okay, so patience, I mean, start learning how to be patient now itself. Okay, set in your mind that, I mean, as I said earlier, things take its time to settle down. Okay. In fact, I would like to quote here a very very relevant uh, extract from Gita. Okay, which says that I mean, you keep working and don't worry about the results. If you are good, if you are working hard, if you are working honestly, results will come. I mean, there is no way results will not come, and results will come when they have to come. Okay, your job is to keep working very very hard, okay, and sincerely and honestly. So keep this is one of the biggest thing in the mind. You should keep, I mean, there's no shortcut to hard work. Okay, keep working hard, be patient, you will get the results. Okay, there is no way absolutely that the results will not come. It may, for some people, let's say it may happen slightly early. So for some people it may, let's say, come with a lag. Okay, but here actually I would like to also share with you a very let's say very very interesting tagline, which says that harder you work, luckier you get. I don't know how many of you have heard this tagline. Harder you work, luckier you get. Okay, so the more the point here is that the hard you more the more you work, I mean, the probability of you getting luckier increases. Because obviously, see, in life as well, I mean, whether it's personal life or professional life, luck does play a part. Okay, but at the same time, you have to keep working hard. If you are going to just depend on luck, take it from me, nothing is going to work. So put working hard as your first this thing. Okay, luck will happen. I mean. Okay, so keep this particular thing in mind. This will serve you for your entire life, entire personal life, entire professional life. Second thing on this aspect, Alpa, can they ask question? I mean, any question in between also? I mean,
yes. If whichever
yeah,
way you
so,
want, yeah.
Yeah. In fact, I would like it that way only. If somebody wants to ask any question, clarification, because I will keep speaking on different subjects. They may not remember to ask question later. I mean, after my speech has ended.
Yes.
So I would like it to be, let's say, interactive. I mean, right from start itself.
Done, not a problem. So I'll request them to put questions on chat box and I'll take it up once it comes. Or you want them to speak to you directly? We will do it
Yeah. I'm okay to take direct questions also. Actually.
Okay, guys. So you can unmute yourself, but request you if there are no background sounds, and you can go ahead and ask questions to sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So yeah. So another point on this particular aspect also itself I would like to share is that, I mean, see, don't be in a hurry. Don't be in a hurry to achieve something. Again, it's related to the first point only in the patience part of it. Okay. See, you have to, I mean, wherever you are working, whichever field you are working, whichever area you are working, get solid knowledge about that particular area. So generally, I mean, we feel that, I mean, it takes about 2-3 years of working to get, let's say, reasonably good amount of knowledge in that particular area. Okay. So what again I will share with you what we face in real life is that, I mean, the freshers join us in 1 year time. They will start asking, sir, can you give me something different to work on? Okay, they become impatient. Okay, but I keep telling them, boss, you have worked on a particular subject or field for 1 year, which is not enough. Okay, work on it for 2-3 years, then only you'll get good knowledge about that particular field or area. Okay, otherwise, I mean, when you go to the next this thing, if they ask something about that particular, you'll not have I mean, the real answers for what you have done. You will not gain any knowledge. And see, I'm sure all of you agree, especially the new generation. Okay, that knowledge is the key in the current world. Knowledge holds a very very important position. Okay, you have to have knowledge. I mean, knowledge has huge amount of value in the professional life. So don't ignore knowledge. I mean, your knowledge that you gain, let's say, while studying MBA, or let's say doing any professional degree, okay, is not sufficient for you to rise. It's just an entry point for you. It facilitates good entry, okay, but after that, it's your knowledge and hard work which pays. So get that, I mean, get good knowledge. And also one more thing, don't see, once you get into your job life now, start taking your life seriously, start taking your professional life seriously. Again, I'm coming from my experience. I see freshers, let's say, they join and then they don't, let's say, are serious about this thing. Take your career seriously, okay, once you have joined your, let's say, wherever, right? So any question on the patience part of it from anyone?
So I have a question saying that yes, this generation is
Yeah.
very fast and they definitely lack patience somewhere, and to sustain and survive, and the stability that really does matter, with this generation. So what is an piece of advice you will give to student to sustain in some company for years? Because in earlier days, I'm sorry, but yeah, you are senior to us, and your generation, when people used to join the company, they used to retire from the same company. The generation
Yeah,
see
yeah.
at least 10 to, at least 7 to 8 or 10 shifts in their entire career. So what is that key mantra or a success, should be there with them? Because if you keep on shifting the career, I'm sure the graph might increase some. It might help, it may not help, it may backfire you also. So what is that they should have in them?
See, to my mind, see, minimum you should work is 2 to 3 years minimum. I mean, you should not think, unless you have some very contingency kind of a situation. Otherwise, you should not leave within 2 3 years. And see, at times, it's also good. I mean, if you're getting stagnant in your, let's say, growth, or let's say knowledge also, in terms of your role, it's good to look out. Okay. And so there are Alpa, I would say, pluses also. There are minuses also of let's say, shifting. Okay. Yes, it gives money, better money. I mean, people generally shift uh, because of better money. But to my mind, I mean, money should not be, again, in fact, I had noted this point down. I would have anyways discussed. I mean, see, money should never, in fact, money should never be the criteria for shifting.
Right.
Money should not be the criteria ever for shifting. And I can share with you my own experience, okay, very quickly, in 2 lines. So I was working in ICC Bank way back, let's say, in 2005-6, and I was very happy, well settled. Uh, so then this is offer from Standard Chartered Bank came. Okay. So I was very happy. So even after they offered a very good jump, a good hike and all, I kept refusing them. Okay. So but they kept chasing me, following up with me, and every time they came back to me, they increased their offer. Okay. And I kept saying no to them. But then they, at one point in time, they offered me more than double the salary, which is generally not the norm. So if I was getting, let's say, X, they gave me 2.2X. Okay, more than double. Maybe I could not then probably refuse them. Okay, offer was good in terms of role also. Then okay, I joined Standard Bank, but I was not happy over there. Okay, I could not adjust myself to the culture, which was different. MNC Bank, they have a different culture. Indian banks have a different culture. Okay, so I could not adjust over there, and ultimately I left after 1 year. Okay, even though the money was very good and all. So the point here is that money may not always give you what you require. What you actually require is role growth. Okay, if you're getting good role in your next this thing, yes, but at the same time, I mean, you should also see what is the type of organization you're joining with, whether the organization itself is good or not. How is the environment? Like, for example, in my case, organization was very good. Standard Chartered Bank was very strong, very good, multinational reputed bank, but the environment was very different. Okay, yeah. So I could not adjust myself. So you have to check all these things also. I mean, you don't want to, because see, I can also share with you based on my experience. I mean, you need to be happy. Okay, money is not everything. Whatever you do, you need to be happy. Then only you will be more productive. If you're not happy, you're getting good money, you're getting good role, but you will not be able to justify your position, your salary. Okay, it's only when you are happy what you are doing, then you'll be able to, in fact, contribute more to the organization. Okay, so you need to check how is the organization culture. Okay, if you can check, get to know about who's going to be your boss, that's also good, because ultimately you are interacting daily with your bosses only. Okay, so money should be actually last, unless, as I said earlier, is some contingency. Money should be the last, let's say, factor. Okay, you should look at these things before joining, looking for a change. Does that answer your question, Alpa?
Yes, yes, thank you.
Yeah. Can I move to the next topic?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Second thing, in fact, you should inculcate, in fact, you should start inculcating now itself. And I'm sure when you're in MBA school, it will require a lot of collaboration. So collaboration is my second topic I want to discuss with you and share with you. See, collaboration, see what happens in a job scenario when you're working, no, you are never independent. Okay, your performance is never independent. Okay, it is always dependent on so many things, so many people. Okay, so if you are not able to, let's say, work along with them, you will not be able to deliver, you will not be able to perform, right? And so you are dependent on so many people, you are engaging with so many people, you are interacting with so many people on a regular basis, day in, day out, every day. You are in an organization, you work with so many people. Okay, it's not like that you've been given a, let's say, chair and table to sit and you can whole day you can work over there. It doesn't happen like that in an organization. Okay, you have to always engage with other people, because every work is interconnected. Okay, it's not your work only, every work is interconnected. So and see what happens. Why collaborate? Because your success is dependent on how you are able to work along with them. Okay, and now everybody is having a different priority. In an organization, every person will have a different priority. He will have his own work, you will have your own work. Now how to, let's say, work together? Okay, so that is where collaboration comes in. Okay, so you see, people, what happens is very often, again, it happens more with freshers and less with, let's say, experienced people, but it happens with them also. Okay, they are not able to work with them. People feel that, I mean, just because the other person is not cooperating as per your wishes, as per your liking, you feel that that guy is a very difficult guy. Okay, so start treating people from now itself. In fact, for example, you are doing a project for your MBA course. Okay, in your Vidya Lankar school itself. Okay, you need to work together. Okay, 4-5 of you have been given a project. You need to work together. Okay, every person will have a different thought process, different priorities. Okay, so you have to, let's say, manage to work along with all of them. Then only you will be able to give the result, right? So what happens is people get frustrated, especially the freshers. That was this guy is not cooperating with me, is not helping me, not supporting you. Okay, and they start feeling that this guy is a difficult person. Take that thing out of your mind itself. People are generally, I mean, it has been proven by so many research, people are generally helpful. Generally, I mean, 95% of people you will find, even more than that actually, are helpful only. It's how you collaborate with them, how you speak to them, how you, let's say, engage with them. Okay, you have to, I mean, see, you want your work done, you have to be, let's say, accommodative. Okay, you go and request, be humble. Okay, your work will get done. In fact, a time will come when that person will actually start giving priority to your work. If whenever you go, he will give more priority. It's all based on the relationship, basically, right? It's the kind of relationship you develop with the people around. Okay, that is collaboration. So without collaboration, I can guarantee you, you will not succeed in your career. Without collaboration, you will not, let's say, be able to, let's say, do practical things in your MBA course also. You will have so many projects to work along with others. Okay, and in the process, see what happens. You also gain a lot of knowledge. Okay, see, people will share the good practices, their wisdom with you only when you have built up that kind of, let's say, relationship with them. And in an organization, let's say, you will find so many different people with absolutely every person is a different person. Okay, you will find different people with different thought process, different knowledge, different experiences. They will share with you, and that is how you actually grow. That is how you learn. Okay, see, your entire professional life will be a learning journey only. I mean, you're learning, only the technical learning probably happens in your professional course, but the real learning of life, okay, happens by these interactions. When you interact with people, with all kinds of people, I mean, you will have, I mean, young people, you have, let's say, not so young people, I mean, elder people, okay, coming from different kinds of background, different thought process, different knowledge, different degrees, okay, different cultures you will find. And the learning is, and that's how you become a better professional. But the key to that thing is to collaborate, build up relationship with them. Okay, so collaboration is the thing. Any questions on collaboration? Anyone? Somebody had raised a hand. Not really. Okay. Yeah.
Guys, any question? Or should we move ahead? Okay, sir, we can move ahead.
Yeah. Third thing is when you join the work, okay, people see integrity. Okay, so when you are working for others, integrity is must be integrity. People understand, na? Integrity basically honesty. Okay, ethical work. So it has to be of the highest order. Okay, and you get only one chance. In corporate life, in job, this thing, you get only one chance. Okay, as far as integrity is concerned, is concerned. Okay, once I mean, if you're caught, okay, being dishonest, I mean, your whole career goes for a toss. Okay, nobody will. I mean, see, obviously, enough. I mean, see, you are working for somebody. People trust you. Okay, I mean, nobody is going to monitor you 24/7. Okay, you have to work honestly. If you are caught, I mean, you are gone. Your professional career is gone for forever. So don't compromise on your integrity and honesty. I mean, even if, let's say, the incentive is large or very large, even, it is not worth it. It is not worth it. I can tell you, it's not just about money only. I mean, your whole reputation goes for a toss. Your career goes for a toss. Your social, because see, we are living in a very socially active world these days. I mean, with all kinds of social media and everything, people get to know. Okay, so don't take chance with your integrity ever. Okay, it is not worth it, even if, let's say, the money is very good. So that's very important, actually. Other thing I want to discuss with you is so when you actually get down to work, okay, so you have to think within yourself that you are not working for somebody, you are working for yourself, right? You have to think yourself as you are the CEO of your work. Whatever work or responsibility which have been given to you, you are the CEO of that work. Okay, so what happens is, so where I'm coming from as far as this is concerned is that when you join workforce, okay, you will find again different kind of people. Some people are not working very hard. Some people are just passing time. Okay. Some of course, many of course work very hard also. Okay. You will find again very different kind of people, all kinds of different people. So you did not get influenced by those kind of negative people. Okay. Don't think that just because few people are not working well, or just let's say indulging in politics, or just passing time, okay, the organization is like that only. Okay, it's not. And so you also have to be doing the same thing only. No, you are the CEO of your own work. Okay, if you work hard, if you work honestly, you will rise. You if you see that the person sitting beside you is just passing time, okay, and you are only, you know, working hard, don't get frustrated, don't get bothered about what others are doing. Okay, they will get what they deserve. Okay, they will not rise in their careers. Okay, you have to look at your own career. Okay, so don't get influenced by people who don't work, or let's say negative people in your in that you will always find, every place you will find such people. Okay, don't get influenced by just by observing them. Okay, just because they are having good time, okay, not much work to do, and I know you are working, I mean, absolutely from 9 to 9 you are working, your boss is putting pressure. Other thing, in fact, if you are getting more work, if your boss is giving you more work than others now, okay, don't take it negatively. It will happen. Okay, because bosses give more work to those people who are good and who are hardworking, not because they have some problem with you. Okay, or not because they want to put you into problem. Okay, they will give you more work, more responsibility, because you are good, because you are working hard. Keep these things in mind. Actually, see, right now it may not be very relevant right now, but I'm just basically preparing your mind for the future, right? Because these things, I do not know whether Gaurang Bhai will tell me whether these things are taught in MBA schools or not. I'm not an MBA, so and it, of course, it was not taught in CF, definitely, these things,
So yes, we do inform
right?
students on each and every aspect, and that's the reason we invite people like you to explain and to help them to understand how the industry is all about. The thought process comes
Yeah,
from you only, and that's why we indulge these students right from the start of their curriculum or the
yeah,
batch.
yeah. So basically, idea is to inculcate this thing, this thought process in your mind, even before, let's say, you join the workforce, right? Any question till now?
Guys, good morning. Are you there with us?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
So please feel free
Yes,
to ask
ma'am.
questions. We
Ma'am.
want this to be an interactive session. It's for you guys, so it's your platform.
So is it possible that if we giving our honesty to the corporate company and they are not satisfied with us?
I didn't get your question. If you are giving your honesty, I mean,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
are
we are giving
working
100% to
honestly.
the
Okay.
corporate company. Then, if is it possible that they are not they are not satisfied with us, that we are working for them, something like that?
Yeah, see how it happens in the companies is that, I mean, of course, you have to work hard, you have to work honestly. Okay, but at times it may so happen that despite working hard, despite working honestly, you are not able to, let's say, deliver on your performance, right? Obviously, every person in the organization has some targets to achieve. Okay, they are expected to do certain work as per time, or let's say as per their schedule. Okay, so if you are not able to deliver as per the let's say requirement, then of course, despite working hard and honestly, they may not be satisfied. Yes, but generally what I have seen now, people who work hard, people uh, who work hard and honestly, are generally able to deliver. I mean, it may so happen. So what happens is that uh, you are given work, okay, or you, let's say, you join something in the area where you're not liking it, okay, which you may not know actually at the time of joining. So okay, so and probably your mindset is not fitting with that kind of work actually. Okay, because there are technicalities also involved in the work when you join a company. Okay, so it may so happen that you are not fit for that particular role. Okay, so the performance is not happening, not because you're not capable, or not because you're not working hard, but it may happen because of you're not fitting into that particular role. So in that case, generally what we do, so we don't let's say just go and say that, boss, you are not performing, so please find a new job. No. So we try and see what has gone wrong. Okay, whether it's actually a matter of not working hard, or let's say not being sincere, or it's a matter of fitment. So we analyze all the things, and if we find that the person has been working hard, but he's not fitting into this thing, we give him or her a different role. So and as I said, I mean, if you are working hard, any person working hard, and honestly, you will succeed. There is no reason for not to succeed. Okay, it's like basically when I say fitment, you are a doctor, and I give you an engineering job. Okay, or you are a finance guy, and I give you an engineering job. It's like that. The fitment is like that actually. So it does happen. Yeah. Are you okay with the answer, Shraddha?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. 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 Can I move on, Alpa?
Yes, sir, please.
Yeah. Yeah. So other thing is, again, when you join, and not just join only, in fact, whether you're doing let's say any professional course like MBA or CA, and in general in life also, okay, and of course definitely in work life, so you'll find this very often, that you're facing a lot of challenging situation in work life. You'll find the challenging situation very often, very regularly. Okay, because as I said, I mean, you have different priorities. You want to do something, but you're not able to, because the environment is not allowing you or not supporting you, because other people have different priorities. There are bad people also in life as well as in office. In office, you'll find many bad people also. Okay, so you will find all those challenges, but don't get disheartened when you find these challenges. Okay, these are, I mean, part and parcel, and actually these challenges help you grow. The more you face this kind of challenges, and see, other point actually I would like to share here. See, when you move up in your career now, I mean, your success will depend more on how you handle this situation, this challenging situations, and less on your technical knowledge that you gain from being an MBA or CA. Okay, see how, and that is where it is called manager. Okay, manager is basically the person who manages the situation. Correct, manages the challenges and comes out of that. That will actually define how you grow in your career. Okay, you may be I mean, let's say Sachin Tendulkar of your field. Okay, very good in finance, number one rank holder or like that. But if you don't have that thing inside you, whereby you are able to manage different situations every day, you will find such situations in your work life. Okay. So, for example, I tell you, I was reading somewhere that a person on an average takes almost 10,000 decisions in a day, small, big, or whatever. So similarly, in your work life, this kind of situations will come where you have to take the decision as to what to do, okay, how to manage. That will define your success going forward, right? So don't the point is, don't get frustrated or let's say bogged down by these challenges, because challenges are, see, so people come to me, actually my team, boss, that I'm facing this problem. Kitna problem has, I have so many problems. So I keep telling them, and it is a standard line I use them, boss, our job is there because of these challenges. If these challenges were not there, okay, our job will not be there. We will not be required, because everything then the robot can do. Okay, we professionals are required only because the challenges are there. If everything was so smooth, it can happen in I mean, then you don't require MBAs and CAs also. I mean, you can have, let's say, class 10 pass out who can just complete all the work. right? So we are there, our career is there because there are challenges everywhere, right?
Right.
We'll move on.
Yes, sir. So there is one question from my student, Shruti
Yeah.
Singh. She has asked that you had left from, a StanChat, and you have from ICSA to StanChat, and she would like to know your journey, and she would also like to know that what's ups and downs you had faced in your life, and how did you cope up with that?
So, so I'll tell you. See, challenges, as I said, just like everybody, I also face the similar kind of challenges. It's not that I mean I faced very different kind of a challenge. It's the usual challenges everybody will face, right? Uh, so for example, in Sanjay Tat Bank, I could not adjust myself uh, uh, with the environment or the culture over there. Okay, so I exited from there, but later on I realized I realized that I should have actually faced that challenge more. I mean, more maturely, instead of, let's say, uh, uh, fleeing. Instead of fleeing means, I mean, I ran away from that problem, right? Just because I had the options. I had the options of getting a job somewhere else also. Okay, I did not fight. In fact, I consider that as a failure of my professional career, that I did not fight there. Did not fight fight the challenge. I'm saying, okay, I did not face the challenge and try to work out a solution. I chose to ran away. Okay, so that I consider as one of my failures in terms of not performance, in terms of my handling the situation. Okay, I chose the easy way out. So, but that's not the right this thing. So never run away from the this thing. So I in fact that went for a slightly lower salary, right? When I left Standard Chartered Bank, I left for the lesser, because I was not able to cope up with the situation over there. Which later I realized that in fact I still think of those days, that probably if I were in the same situation today, I would have handled this situation differently and more maturely. I still think about that. So, and second thing which has helped me in my career is taking feedback. Okay, see, take feedback from your so even if let's say you're doing your MBA course. Okay, get into a habit of taking feedback from let's say uh, seniors also, from your faculties also, from your let's say colleagues also, right? And I can tell you this taking feedback from my other people has helped me a lot. And I must say I implemented those feedback. So they always told me that, I mean, Alok, you are doing this thing right or this thing wrong, you should do like this. Okay, and I must, and I'm very, very actually grateful to people who have given me the feedback, okay, corrective feedback, and which has helped me a lot in my career. Right. For example, if I don't know, we have time or not much time left. So there was this boss, my boss in ICC, when I was working in ICC Bank. Okay. So in fact, okay, let me spend a couple of minutes on this thing. So what happens in current organizational thought process, everything happens on the email, right? Everybody is interacting on the email, and the mails are marked to so many people as CC. So suppose I have some disconnect with somebody, I will write a very strong mail saying something. Okay, some very strong thing, kind of, let's say, complaining and marking my boss and other people, so that they also know that this person is not doing well or not doing correct. Okay, I do it. The samne wala person will also do the same thing. He or she will write something else. Then I again respond again. So this goes on. Okay. And what happens? I'm basically arguing with that person. She's also arguing with me. I'm also arguing with her, right? And this goes on. It's very frequent in every organization. It happens day in, day out. People, uh, I mean, argue on the mail with so many other people marked CC, senior people marked on the CC. So what happens now? These people, they don't react mostly. They just observe the behavior. They observe my behavior. They observe the other person's behavior. So what happens now? This is not correct. Okay, if you argue in front of so many people, it is not correct. It's better to actually call up and speak to that person and sort it out. So I was indulging in this behavior. Okay, so my boss actually gave me the feedback. Boss, Alok, this is not the right behavior. Okay, especially from senior people, this is not the right behavior. Just because I am not reacting, don't think that I am not making or I'm not observing. I'm making some impressions also about you. Okay, please take care. And I can tell you, Alpa, this particular feedback, this single piece of feedback has helped me a lot. So thereafter, I stopped, let's say, arguing on the mail. Whenever I have a disconnect with anyone, I just call up and discuss over the phone, or let's say I'll go to that person and discuss and sort it out. I've completely stopped arguing, or let's say writing strong emails, and it has been almost like 15 years since then. I can tell you this particular single advice has been the single biggest influence on my career. It has helped me a lot, and I keep telling so many people in my team about this particular thing. I keep telling them, boss, don't do this thing. I keep sharing that same feedback with them. Okay, and I hope that has helped them also. But to me, and so many people in fact have come and told me, oh, Alok, how do you maintain such calm basically in front in face of when you receive such kind of emails from others? But so keeping calm in such situation is also very important. Don't get swept up. In fact, whenever you receive any mails now, whether within the MBA this thing also, don't reply immediately. Okay, think about it. Settle down 10 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour, especially when the email language is very hard enough. So this is about some interesting parts of my journey, as you asked, Alpa.
Excellent. And I definitely agree on this point, because though I am also in industry for last 15 to 17 years, and responding immediately, definitely when we are young, we are energetic, and we feel frustrated, we reply. But that is actually, that will definitely backfire in, if in case it's not in your favor, if you're not responded properly. And second thing
Correct.
is that, going on the table and discussing things and solving problem helps you a lot, rather than involving 100 people, because there are 100 thoughts, 100 viewpoints. Instead of go to the point straight away to the person and solve that issue. Excellent.
Correct.
This is an excellent example and thought you have shared, which will definitely help students.
And start again, as I am repeating again and again, also all the students, start inculcating this thought process right now itself,
Right.
even though it may not be very relevant right now at this stage of your career. But these are the things which will come to your benefit later on when you actually do your job or get into your own business.
Yes, still, till date they have not sat on the hot seat like we have been, working in the industry, and definitely they will understand one day. They will definitely, remember this, that they have, and they are lucky enough at this stage. There were no one to help us when we were early, explaining all these things in
Yeah.
colleges. But they are lucky enough to help them to understand, and then there is I am sure it is tough, but then, with these words of wisdom, it will make their life easier in industry, in corporates.
And not just easier, this is what is going to define your career. These are the things, this soft skills part of your this thing behavior. These are the things which are going to define your career growth. Trust me. Can I move on, Alpa?
So there are one or two questions, if you don't mind. Can I take it?
Yeah.
Neha Vishwakarma says that how many people, many people work hard but fail to fulfill the challenges that they are given to them. So do you think working hard is equally important than fulfilling the challenges given to them?
See, as I mentioned, Neha, see, there is no shortcut to working hard. There is no alternate to working hard. Okay. At times, in fact, I mentioned earlier also, just by working hard, you may not succeed. Okay. But luck also plays a part, and not everything can be resolved. Okay, not everything can be resolved. Let's say India and China are, let's say, almost at the war. Okay, so many people are working very hard to diffuse the situation. Correct, na? I mean, our home minister is talking to them. Our foreign minister is talking to them. The army commanders are talking to them, trying to diffuse the situation. They are working hard. I mean, रात में भी चल रहा है. The home minister went, all the way to Russia to discuss. So people are working hard, but it may not result in success. Okay, every time. but more often than not, most of the times, working hard will result in success. Okay, at times it may not give you the desired success, but at times it will give you more than the desired success also. Okay, and it's a daily affair. It's a daily affair. Okay, working hard. It's not कि एक बार हमने कर लिया and that's it's over. It's a daily affair. Sometimes yes, you may not get the success. Okay, Sachin Tendulkar never scores a century every innings, na? Right? So that is how it is. But he keeps working hard. I mean, uh, any player you take, Roger Federer, for example, I mean, he doesn't need any introduction. He doesn't need to achieve anything else also. Still, he gets up at 5. He's the greatest tennis player ever. Okay, he still gets up at 5 o'clock in the morning and he practices for whether tournament is going on or not. But he doesn't win every tournament. Okay, so working hard has no alternative, has no shortcut. Keep working hard. Sometimes you'll get success, and sometimes you'll not. You'll get more than the desired success. Yeah.
Yeah. So one more question. Chaitali Pawar had this question saying that how do you tackle your failures, or how have you tackled your failures to date?
See, failures are part of the success. Okay, you can't become success without failures. Failures, as Neha also said, I mean, you're not able to. So as I said, working hard, you may not get success. So not getting success is failure, right? But failure is actually a part of success only. Without failure, you cannot because see, you don't know everything. One does not know everything. One does not have every knowledge. One does not have handle on every situation. What kind of situation will emerge? You will have to try your level best to come out of that situation. Okay, but since you don't have, I mean, you are not God. You will not be able to resolve everything, right? So take failure as part of your routine thing. Okay, learn from the failures. Try not to do the same mistake. Okay, and don't get bogged down by failures. Don't get disappointed with failures. Keep working hard. Keep working honestly. Long-term success will come to you. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for answering that question. You can go ahead, sir.
Yeah. The other thing, see, keep in mind, most people want to work. See, even in everyday life, we come across, let's say, let's say, for example, as a student, you go to the administrative office of, let's say, Vidya Alankar office for some admission related work, or let's say some document related work. You may find that you may feel that the person in the administrative office is not helping you out as per your requirement, and then suddenly you feel that this guy is useless. It doesn't want to work. Okay, it's not like that. And this you will find this kind of thing day in day out, whether in your MBA or something, or in work, or let's say even if you're, let's say, going to a for your personal work also. Okay, some office you will, let's say, you've gone to, let's say, some post office for your work, and you find that the person is not working, and you feel that suddenly start feeling that people are just useless people. They don't want to work. They just want to take the salary without working. Okay, it's not like that. Change your mindset. Okay, it's a negative mindset basically. Okay, think that I mean, he or she may have some other work, some other problem. He may be also going through some tension. Okay, he may have some different priorities. Okay, the research shows that most of the people want to come and work. They don't want to just come and time pass. They may have different abilities, different knowledge, skill sets, but they want to come and work. Okay, so the moment you change this thought process, okay, the moment you become positive thinker like this, your whole perspective about that situation will change. It will help you diffuse the situation, the challenging situation, much more effectively. Because as I mentioned earlier, day in day you will come across challenging situation, and you are expected to come out of that situation, and then only you will succeed. So this thought process, okay, and interconnected world, right? So these are all connected. I mean, see, if you have to succeed, you have to collaborate with people. If you succeed, think positive about the people you are working with. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We can.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
yeah, 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 yeah. The other thing, in fact, I would want to share very quickly, because I think what is the time left, Alpa?
Sir, we are at we 11:58 right now.
So
So
another 10
so
15 minutes?
other 10, 15, yeah, if you're comfortable, because you had meetings, so otherwise
Yeah,
it's okay. Yeah,
yeah,
we have
yeah,
10, 15 minutes more. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. The other thing you have to keep in mind, keep upgrading your knowledge and skills. Okay, the world is changing so fast. I mean, things are becoming so obsolete. Okay, so if you want to go ahead in your career, keep upgrading your knowledge and skills. Okay, don't restrict yourself to your, let's say, specific field only. Okay, try and expand your horizon, your knowledge. Okay, that will help you a lot, actually. People, because this is a knowledge based world, right? People value knowledge. Okay, knowledge workers are valued. They have a higher value than people who don't have the knowledge and the skills, right? And whatever knowledge, let's say, you gain while in your study days, or your education days, okay, will soon become obsolete and will not be enough. Okay, if you want to go ahead in your career, keep acquiring new knowledge. Okay, it doesn't mean, I mean, you have to enroll for some other course or something. I mean, you have to go for another MBA, or let's say double MBA. It's not like that. Okay, you have to do engineering also. But day-to-day life, I mean, keep observing, keep trying to gain knowledge. Also, in fact, keep reading newspapers and magazines. Okay, knowledge can also be gained by keeping yourself updated with what is happening across the world on a daily basis, because something or the other new is happening, new development is taking place every day across the world. Okay, read get into a habit of reading a business newspaper as well as a normal newspaper on a daily basis. Both normal newspapers and a business newspaper on a daily basis. Try and understand what is happening around. John, don't just read just for the sake of reading. Try to understand also, to the extent possible. Okay, if you don't understand something, go to your professors. I mean, your school will have faculties, right? And have a discussion with them. This kind of things will enhance your knowledge. So as I said, you don't have to enroll for another specialized course or something. Get into more discussion with different kind of people. That will enhance your knowledge and skills immensely. I can tell you, guarantee you. The more you engage with people in this kind of discussions, the more knowledgeable you will become. Trust me. This is one of the biggest tools, in fact, I would like to share with you all. Utilize these 2 years of your MBA course in even if it's not related to your let's say curriculum. Just pick up anything and discuss with your faculties, or whoever has knowledge about that particular topic. You will become I can tell you, you will become a rock star in knowledge if you start practicing this thing. Trust me. Superstar, rock star, I can tell you. The other thing, see, which will be very important, again, you can practice in your MBA, this thing itself, is the communication skills. It is very important in the current this thing, to have a good communication skills. See, ultimately, see, I'll tell you, another very important thing is, see, if you have to succeed, you have to sell yourself. If you have to succeed in professional life, you have to keep selling yourself. And how do you sell yourself? You basically communicate. I mean, you convey. Okay, you pitch your ideas, your thought process. Okay, like for example, I'm also selling myself right now. Okay, so communication is extremely important in the way you convey your message, you pitch your thought process, you pitch your ideas, right? So try and fine tune your communication skills while you are at the uh, MBA school. Get into a lot of in fact, if you engage with more people now, that will also help you get a better communication skills. Get into a lot of presentation. I mean, right? Don't shy away from presentation. Get into those presentations while making projects and all. Right? So communication is another very big tool for success. Other aspect now. Even though I don't know in the MBA school setting how much you will get to see, get into a habit of observing people. Okay, how others are handling situation, small situation, right? How because see, when I say situation, you are only observer, but for somebody it's a challenge. He's facing that challenge. Okay, the other person is facing that challenge, and how he's handling that situation, or how he's, let's say, resolving that challenge. Very intently observe how that person who may be very experienced, much more experienced and much more mature than you all. Okay, how he or she is handling that situation. Have a very keen sense of observation. Okay, that will also actually it will help in many ways. Actually, it will give you experience as to how situations, or let's say that particular situation is to be resolved. Okay, it will also make you much more mature, much faster, right? So observing things, in fact, I can tell you, I'll tell you even today. So I'm already, let's say I'm 51 and already, let's say, 25 plus years of experience. Okay. So obviously I attend a lot of meetings wherein a lot of people are involved. Let's say in a meeting, let's say there are 15 people, all senior people are there in that meeting. Obviously I'll be, my share of let's say discussion will be probably, let's say, 5% maximum, right? 95% of the time somebody others are speaking on something or the other, right? I make it a point to observe as to what people are saying in that situation, how they are saying, what is the tone they are using, what is the kind of body language they are showing in that situation. All this helps, okay, in conveying the message, in resolving the situation, right? Even your tone helps. What kind of tone you have to use in that particular situation or in that type of situation. So even today I'm observing because it is helping me learn how to handle that situation, right? So all of you must have very right from today itself. In fact, even in your MBA schools, you must have this thing. Please observe how people are talking, how they are resolving issues. Okay, and try and inculcate that thought process in yourself. Yeah, so that's about it right now for now, Alpa. But I'm open to next 10 minutes of questioning.
Yeah, so
Question
we
and
have
Q&A.
two questions in chat box. One is my student Oshin has asked one question saying that have you dealt with any dominant person in your team, and how do you tackle the situation, or how do you tackle with the person who is dominant?
Okay, yeah. See, you will find this kind of dominant people everywhere. Okay, very often you will come across this kind of dominant people who are very aggressive, at times bullying also. Okay, so, and there are 3-4 tricks. This thing. Don't, first and foremost, don't get frustrated or bogged down by them. Okay, they are not superhumans. It's only that their behavior which is this thing. And don't believe that just because that guy is aggressive, he or she is much more knowledgeable. Don't think into that thing. Okay, or he may be very good or better than you, right? In any other aspect also. Don't get into that belief. I used to get into that belief earlier. Okay, if somebody is very aggressive, is coming out as a very aggressive person, he must be very, very good, very big. No. Okay, that is one. So don't get into that. Second is you be your normal self. Okay, you be your humble this thing and simple, and use your knowledge and relationship. You be just your normal self. Okay, and I can tell you, boss, if you're normal, if you're, let's say, collaborative, if you're not getting, let's say, overawed by that person's presence or aggressiveness, that person will become subservient to you in due course. And I've seen this in my personal experience. Okay, the same person, it may not happen very immediately. It will take a lot of time, because see, ultimately, every person is a human being. Every single person is a human being. Okay, they also observe just like you or us. Okay, they also have the same kind of feelings. They may be aggressive in terms of let's say work or let's say nature, but deep down they are ultimately humans only. Okay, they also have their families. They also deal with different kind of people, right? They also expect the same as you expect from them, right? Ultimately, they will start liking you, because every person wants, let's say, love and affection and warmth. Every person, whether even if that guy is a bully, ultimately he also is looking for that warmth and respect. You give that respect. Okay, a day will come, that person will become subservient to you. I've seen many examples. There's absolutely no doubt about it. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Classic an explanation. And one last question from Shruti Singh. She's saying that, how do we know what is a good work environment? How will you explain about it?
See, a good work environment, see, you will have to, you can get to know from other people actually. Okay, let's say you're let's say planning to join some organization and you want to check. Okay, try and see if somebody has worked over there, or let's say working over there. You can take the feedback from there as to whether and by good working environment, I would say people are respected first and foremost. Okay, these days organizations have started becoming more empathetic to the employees. Okay, but obviously many organizations are not very empathetic to the employees. Okay, so check it out with other people. But to me, I mean, if the organization is has respect for its employees, that's the single biggest item. Okay. Second could be, I mean, if there's a internal politics, a lot of internal politics or not, right? So that again, you have to check it out with. So it differs. See, every organization has some bit of politics, and little bit is good also in a way, but it should not be. I mean, there's a limit to it. Okay. So check it out again if there's a. I mean, more than required politics which goes on inside the organization. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So one question from my side, that would be last, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. But I would like to know how banking and financial sectors are coming up with new opportunities post-pandemic, or, in next 6 months. So, our students should be aware of, how the situation is going to be. Because everybody is now worried about their career and opportunities, in this stage. So 6 months down the line, when these people will be graduate, my senior batch, I would like to know the situation in market, how open it will be for them. An opportunity.
See, banking, 2-3 things very quickly. See, banking is one sector which will never stop to grow. Okay? Because as long as any business activity, economic activities keep on happening, banking will be required. Okay, that is one. Second, in India, the banking is so underpenetrated. Okay, as compared to the global standards. I mean, we still have a long way to go. Okay. Third thing is, see, India is, let's say, will continue to grow, let's say, at minimum to minimum average of 6 to 7%. There's a minimum to minimum average 6 to 7%, right? And there's a direct linkage of banking with this 6 to 7% number. Okay, banking typically banking grows at 2 times the economic growth number. So if India will continue to grow at 6 to 7%, banking will continue to grow at 14 to 15%.
Okay.
So banking will never stop, and banking will always have huge amount of opportunities for the MBAs and MBAs. Yeah. And banking is so vast. I can tell you, one life is not enough. One full life is not enough to understand the full banking. It's so vast. It's absolutely so vast. I have 25 years. I've still not understood everything about banking. So it's so vast. A lot of opportunities will be there in banking.
Great. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for your time, and even on Sunday, giving us time and explaining each and every aspect how students should behave in corporate so patiently and answering our questions. So with your experience, the best part of the session, was that you said there is no shortcut to success. Integrity, collaboration, update yourself. Money is not everything. These are the keywords. We will definitely take away from the session. And with the Alankar School of Business, thank you for coming on board, and we would definitely like to have more and more collaboration with you in future. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for giving me a patient hearing. I hope these practical aspects, behavioral aspects will help you in your life going forward, both professional as well as personal life. And thank you, Alpa, and thank you, Vidya Alankar, for giving me this opportunity of sharing my thoughts.
Thank
I
you
hope
so
I can again in sometime future again have the opportunity of speaking to you all.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much.
Definitely, you'll be invited again on campus for sure. Yeah, thank you
Thank
so
you,
much, sir.
Gaurang bhai. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thanks everybody. Thank you so much for joining. Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Thanks.